Okay, so before we start mixing everything up for the cheesecake itself, let's go ahead and make the crust. So what I've got here is a springform pan that I've sprayed with cooking spray. I've got about 2 dozen of these Thin Mint cookies that I made. I got the recipe off YouTube from a site called Cake Boss. It's also at cakeboss.com. So I didn't put the icing on it, I've just got the cookies themselves. And then I've got about 2 or 3 tablespoons of melted butter. So I'm just going to throw all this in the food processor. I'll blend that up, break it down real good, then I'll put it in the springform pan here, bake that in the oven about 350 for about 5 or 6 minutes or so. Let that kind of hold together, then we'll take that out, let it cool down. We'll mix all of our ingredients for the cheesecake, put it together, then we'll put it in the oven in a water bath, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've got our cookie crumbs in this springform pan. What I've done is just kind of use this glass to mash it down flat and smooth it out. So I'll throw that in a 375-degree oven for about 5 or 10 minutes. Let that crisp up. Then we'll mix our cream cheese filling, fill it up, and put it in the oven. Okay, so we've got all of our ingredients for our cream cheese filling all lined out here. What I've got is 5 blocks of cream cheese, 2.5 pounds. I've got 5 eggs and 2 egg yolks. I've got some vanilla. I've got 1 cup of sour cream. Got the zest from lemon. Got 1.5 cups of sugar. So we're going to start by mixing the cream cheese with the sugar and vanilla and lemon zest. And we'll let that go, and then we'll come back and start adding the rest of our ingredients. So let me go ahead and get those together and we'll get started. We'll come back in a second. Okay, so we've got our cream cheese, sugar, vanilla, and lemon zest mixing up here. I just stopped the mixer to scrape down the sides. We're going to let that mix a little bit more, then we'll start adding the rest of our ingredients. But it's already smelling great. You can smell the vanilla and the lemon zest. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can go ahead and use a hand mixer. That'll work just fine, but we'll let this mix a little bit more, then we'll come back and add the rest of our ingredients. Okay, so I've just added a cup of sour cream to our cream cheese mixture, and I've got our eggs and egg yolks. I'm going to start adding those one at a time here. Let it mix up a little bit after each one. One of them jumped in at a time, so let those mix in. It'll keep going one at a time with those. Let them mix afterward, and that should be about it for the filling. Okay, so we've got our filling all done here. I'm just going to go ahead and pour it into our crust. Leave a little space from the top. Let it smooth out. Then we'll go ahead and put this in the oven. So it's going to rise up a little bit, so you don't want to put too much in there. Fill it up so it's going to overflow. So we'll get this in the oven and check back in a second. Okay, so we've got our cheesecake in a little shallow roasting pan that I filled up with water about halfway up. We're going to let this go at 325 degrees for about an hour and a half. We'll check it out at about an hour and 15 minutes in. So we'll give it a little extra steam to start off, close it up, check back, and hopefully it'll come out good. Okay, so it's been going about an hour and 15 minutes at 325 degrees here. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's still got a little bit of a jiggle in the middle, which isn't always a bad thing, but for the cheesecake you want to let it get a little more firm in the middle than that. So we're going to give it about 15 more minutes, then we'll cut the heat on the oven, let it sit in there for about a half an hour, then take it out of the oven. So we'll give it a few more minutes to check back. Okay, so after about an hour and a half in a 325 degree oven, cut the heat, let it sit in the oven with the oven door cracked for about a half an hour. Then I took it out, took the foil off. So now it's cooled down a little bit. It's cool enough to where I can put it in the refrigerator. We'll let it cool off. To be safe, the best bet would just be to let it cool overnight. So hopefully when we unring this thing, everything will be great. We'll check back and see how it comes out. Okay, so here's our cheesecake after about 24 hours. It's set up nicely. I planned on showing you how to take the ring off and slice it, but somebody couldn't wait until I got home from work today and went ahead and did it anyway. So that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up with a mint chocolate sauce and some fresh mint. I'll come back and show you how I'm going to do that in 1 second. So let me get that going and catch up with you in a second. Okay, so to finish this cheesecake off, what I'm going to do is make a little mint chocolate sauce or a chocolate ganache if you want to get technical. I've got 8 ounces of Ghirardelli 60% chocolate in here. I've got 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. To that I've added 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. I'm going to put the cream in here and cover this with a lid. It's just before boiling, it's not actually boiling. I'm going to cover this with a lid for about 20 seconds or so. You can leave it for a minute. That's going to help to melt this chocolate, make it easier to stir. So to this I'm going to add about a teaspoon each of the vanilla and mint extract. I'll mix that all up, get that nice and smooth. Then we'll top our cheesecake with that and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so we've got our chocolate sauce all mixed up here. Just going to throw a little on top of the cheesecake. Try and do this one-handed. So we've got some fresh mint that I just picked from the garden there. Throw that on top. And that's it. Junior mint cheesecake. There's actually no junior mints in it, but with the thin mint crust and the mint chocolate topping, I think it's going to taste great. So hopefully you guys like it. Give it a try. Talk to you later.